Welcome to Google Expeditions, from consumer to creator. I'm Scott Lewis, an instructional technology coach for Frederick County Public Schools. Today you'll learn how to create and guide your own Google Expedition. We'll define AR and VR, look to see who can use Google Expeditions, what you need, how to create your own, and answer the question of what if I don't have equipment. Augmented reality means to superimpose images into the real world around you, and virtual reality is an immersive simulation of a 3D environment. As you can see from this list, Google Expeditions is not just a history resource. You can look at cell structures, explore math concepts, create technical writing, look at careers, attend concerts, visit museums, look at body systems, visit language-specific cities. The only constraint is your imagination and what 360 pictures you can find. So your next step in creating a Google Expedition is to go to Tour Creator. The URL for that is right up here. It's arvr.google.com/Tour Creator. Once you get here, you're going to go down to this purple rectangle that says Get Started, and you're going to click there. So that brings you to your main dashboard. You can see all of the tours that you've created up to this point. I want you to go over and click the plus sign right here, New Tour. And that will bring you to basically your cover page, the introduction of your tour creator. So to have this tour go into Google Expeditions, it has to have a couple things. It has to have a title, it has to have a picture, and it has to be categorized. So I'm going to title this, and then I'm going to go in and select an image. I'm going to go into my drive. And one of the problems with uploading these pictures, you have to be really careful with size and the orientation of it. Notice that the top of the Sphinx has been cut off right here. You can fix that by actually going in and cropping the photo. But again, for what we're doing right now, that's really not too important. So I said you need a title, you need a picture, and the last thing we're going to look at is category. So you have all of these different ones to look at. I'm going to go into history. And then we're going to click create. So our first stop right here is the add scene. So it's going to bring us to the Google Maps integration, and Tour Creator works with the 3D portion of Google Maps. So it is going to filter 360 and 180 degree pictures that have been crowdsourced into Google Maps. So we're going to search, and I'm going to put Sphinx in. And you notice you have to really start being specific, because it'll just take you to the first things that it sees that are close to its initial landing site. So we have the Sphinx at Giza Desert. So we're going to pick that. And it will bring us there. And if we look over here, I actually brought up a really good close-up picture of it. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So a couple things that you can look at. You notice that Pegman has been brought over. You can manipulate Pegman around by left-clicking and holding on it. And once you do that, that basically highlights all of these different pictures or different views that people have uploaded onto here. So I'm going to choose that right there. And the final thing I'm going to do is click on Add Scene. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do in here is just double check and make sure that my starting view is okay. So my object of this is the Sphinx, and my starting view is right on where I want it. So I don't actually want to change it. But if I was going to change it, I'd bring my cursor down here and click on Set Starting View. And what this allows me to do is to rotate this around so I can see the different angles. And then you would click Save. So the next thing is you want to title your scene, okay? A lot of times you'll also get the subheading right here. Usually that has to do with the object that you brought in. And also, it's always a good thing to have a description here. Oftentimes, the credits here will give credits to whoever took that picture. In this case, it really didn't. You can also add in scene narration, so you can record into this and talk about it. You can also bring in music. And the final thing that you want to do into a scene is add multiple points of interest. And if you're viewing the expedition through virtual reality, these points of interest are what shifts that learner's attention and really causes them to turn and focus on what you want them to be focusing on at that point. So I'm going to click on here and I'm going to add one, and it goes right here in the center of this, and you can actually move them around. So I want to bring this over to the Great Pyramid, which is right there. Okay, so the Great Pyramid, and I have a little description here. Now, also you can type in, or not type in, but you can add in audio, and then you can also add in pictures to go along with this. So I'm going to add in a picture, because when I click on this and bring them around to this, it's going to show this picture. And the cool thing about this is you can actually manipulate this. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, you can move it around to kind of fit what you want it to fit and be able to see. If you are going to have multiple scenes, and I would always recommend having multiple scenes with this, the next thing you would do would be to add scene. Okay, and what this does is, again, it starts that process from the beginning. So the next step in the process of creating your Google Expedition is to publish your tour. So to do that, you're going to bring your cursor up to this blue Publish button, and you're going to click on it. So this brings up this small little dialog box where you're going to see your title. You're going to see it has one scene, and then you either have the choice of making it unlisted or public. And it all has to do with the visibility of this tour. So if you're going to guide this tour using the same Google address or Google account that you created it in, and you don't really want it published to the rest of the internet, you can click unlisted. However, in my case, the account that I use to guide Google Expeditions in virtual reality with headsets is different than my Google address. So I'm going to click on public because I want to be able to search for this tour. And the last portion of it is I'm going to click publish. So the really cool thing about this is that you can view your tour without using virtual reality headsets or even Google Expeditions. So for remote learning opportunities like where we are right now and teaching remotely, this is a good opportunity. When I introduced Tour Creator to third graders, what we did is, since I had a limited amount of headsets and devices, we would show the tour that the student was guiding up on the smart board so the rest of the class could follow along with the tour while that student was guiding it. So that's always a good thing to do. Plus, this gives you an idea of what your tour actually looks like. So the next step in creating your Google Expedition is you have to search for your published expedition within Poly. To get to this site, you have to go to poly.google.com, and this is an important step, and it's that intermediate step that you have to do, because if you don't go to this website and actually discover your tour and share it with Google Expeditions, you won't be able to guide it within virtual reality. So I'm going to go up here and I am going to type in the title. One thing to note is it can take some time for your tour to become discoverable within Poly. So just be patient. We're going to go here and we're going to click on it. And you have a couple options right here. You can take a look and kind of preview what that tour is. You can come down here and like it. What liking it does is it sends it to your library and makes it searchable within your library in Google Expeditions. Another key feature right here, if you click on the share button, you can share it directly to Google Expeditions. So the next step is to access Google Expeditions app. Once you do that, you're going to access My Tours in your library. You're going to look for your tour, and then you're going to click on that tour. Once you do that, you're going to download your expedition. After you download your expedition, you are ready to guide. Good luck and have fun. So to get started, what exactly do you need? Well, you need at least 2 devices, one to guide and one to join the expedition. A good rule of thumb is to have at least 1 device per 2 to 3 students. You need a Google Cardboard viewer per device. It's not essential, but it does make the experience more immersive. Some things to consider. You need to look at your Wi-Fi network. You need to make sure that all of your devices can access the Wi-Fi, and they have to be on the same Wi-Fi because this is a peer-to-peer app. So your guiding device needs to be on the same Wi-Fi as those devices joining the expedition. Costs, you can have this be as cheap as you want or as expensive as you want. Cardboard viewers can run anywhere from $6 to $10 to $15. You can buy virtual reality device bundles from Best Buy. Bundle for 15 devices is $10,000. So it really depends on the money that you have available and what you're willing to spend. Here are some ideas for integrating Google Expeditions into your classroom. All of these links can be found in the handouts that will be distributed and attached along with this video. Thank you for joining in today. If you have any questions or need any assistance, please reach out to me on Twitter @ScottLewisITC, or you can reach me by email lewis@fcpsk12.net.